Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. We are out in Malmö today.
Yes, and we actually have tap beers.
We have tap beers. We have 2 tap beers, so we're very excited about that.
Yes.
And we are at a location that is actually, I don't know, it's kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I agree.
They always have something good, but not always when you want it.
There's always some kind of snag. So we are at casual... Is it called casual street food?
It is called casual street food.
And it's on the same street as Malmö Brewing Company.
Yes.
Bergsgatan in Malmö. And it is a burger bar, but they have other stuff.
Yeah. So casual street food started out as a food wagon, food truck.
Yes.
And then it became a restaurant, and now it's become a full-fledged dining experience. I would say their name now is a bit of a misnomer because they are not street food by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But it is very casual still. They still serve things in baskets, and they've kept the light atmosphere, as it were.
Exactly. So are we going to the weird kinks right away? We got the menu, and the first part of the menu...
So let's just start with... So the first part of the menu was, today is Thursday. Chicken Thursday, where they had 2 specials. Chicken tender basket and...
Chicken waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
And I asked for a chicken basket, and she said, sorry, you haven't reserved any chicken for tonight. We have no unreserved chicken left. So no chicken for me.
Which also means no chicken for me, because I was also going to get the chicken basket.
Too bad for us.
Yes. So, how do you have Chicken Thursdays, and the top of your thing that you're selling is chicken, but you don't have enough chicken to go around to people that didn't reserve? So, do you need to reserve the chicken 2 days in advance so people know that you've reserved the chicken?
We also
could you call up on this morning at at 11 and say, I want to have a table tonight, and then they say hey, do you want chicken with that? And you have to go, I'm not sure yet. And they're like, sorry, if you don't reserve it now, then we won't have chicken for you.
Yes, that's likely 100% what would happen.
That is the worst, weirdest scenario I've ever heard in my entire life.
We also didn't have seat reservations, and we actually I smooth talked a little bit, so we had gotten seated at a very, very low table.
To be fair, he did give some hand jobs to the hostess.
Hand jobs to the hostess?
Yes.
Oh. But we've been seated just in front of the handicap elevator.
Yeah.
So if someone with a wheelchair comes here, our entire table needs to be moved.
Exactly.
This doesn't seem reasonable. Not for us, for the person in the wheelchair.
Well, but could you imagine if we were a full table of people eating, and in the middle of our food, and somebody with a wheelchair just we're like, well, shit, we kind of completely disrupt everything. So I'm 100% sure this is just what would be considered dead space. But they're like, you know what? There aren't that many wheelchair-bound people coming to our restaurant, so we'll just make it into a marble, low table, which is heavy as fuck. And we'll just put it right in front of that elevator right there.
Exactly. So we won't review our food today. We did order some food, but it's going to get delivered later. And I guess that's not going to be part of this review.
Well, it won't be chicken, I can tell you that.
No, we didn't pre-order chicken.
Yeah.
I'm getting a burger.
So at one point, their burgers were considered some of the best burgers in all of Europe. They're not as highly rated as they used to be. To be honest, I have never been a huge fan of their burgers. I've always thought they were undercooked. So you start eating it, and then halfway through, you're just I'm just eating raw meat. It's kind of gross. So I usually don't eat here when I come.
No. Now we come to the second weird thing.
Yes.
There was a discrepancy on the untapped list compared to the paper list. And I assumed that the paper list would be more up to date for some weird reason. I don't know why. Because it's just a printed piece of paper.
Yeah.
So we asked for 2 beers.
Yes.
And one from the paper label and paper menu. She said, "Oh, sorry, that beer isn't available. We instead have this other beer, which actually is the beer we wanted. The one we on the paper was a emergency pick."
It was a last resort pick, I'll be honest with you.
So the second beer we're going to review today is the one we actually wanted on the way here, then didn't think we were going to get, and then ended up getting. And that's just part of the weirdness here.
Yeah.
But the first beer, if we just want to knock that out of the park...
Okay, so we've been kind of ragging on this place pretty hard, I will say. But to be fair, they've had some pretty great tap takeovers in the past.
Oh, yeah. Omnipolo tap takeovers.
And... they do have some pretty good cans and taps available. We've just tried a lot of them already, so the problem is it's not a lot of new stuff we haven't tried before. But the first thing we haven't tried is the casual lager made by Rocket Brewing here in Malmö. And it's their house lager.
Yeah, it's weird that we've been here multiple times each, and none of us have ever tried the house lager. It's always been on tap. But there's that. But that's actually a point for casual. There's always been other stuff to order because there is a large assortment of beers. So we've never gotten to the Rocket Lager, the casual lager.
Yeah,
it's pretty standard.
It kind of falls into that Budweiser-y kind of American style corn lager.
Yeah, no real aftertaste. A little bit of too much breadiness in the wrong way.
Well, for me, the aftertaste tastes like cereal grains.
Yeah.
Like you're eating Special K or what do you call them? Cornflakes or something like that. Yeah. I don't like that. For me, it's
unsugared.
Yeah, for me, this is kind of not a good flavor to end on.
It's a 275.
Yeah, I mean, it's drinkable, but it's not something I would go out of my way to. I wouldn't come here for this beer. I'd always try to find something better than this.
Exactly.
I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Yeah.
Which is harsh because I like lagers much more than you do. All right, so what was the other beer?
The next beer is from Dry and Bitter in Denmark. It's Chrome Chrysalis, an American IPA. So it's not classic, a West Coast style IPA, which is dry hop with Columbus, Ekuanot, Motueka and Wai-iti. It gives a tropical fruit notes along with a resinous and bitter bites. Chrome Chrysalis balances that hop way with a crisp malt backbone and gives you a refreshing and moreish IPA.
All right, so I'm curious what you think of this beer. So you've taken a sip.
Have you already tried it?
I did take a sip earlier.
It's very resinous.
For me, this is very...
almost piney.
This is very earthy.
Earthy, yeah,
This is... it has kind of a... earthy,
it's not very good.
Dirt kind of smell to it.
Dirt in the wrong way, like a bad beetroot beer.
It is kind of, that is kind of what I'm thinking of, is a beetroot earthiness to it, and in the smell.
But it is an IPA.
Yeah, but all of the hops they kind of listed were New Zealand hops.
This doesn't taste like the hops listed. I can give it a 3.
Yeah, when I tasted it, like kind of dig a little early sample of it, I was just like, man, that is a really harshly bitter IPA, and not in the traditional like bitter sense of the IPA. It's much more of the hops are dragging this down quite a bit.
It's very herbal.
It is a very herbal beer. You're right. I think that's what I'm looking for. 100%. That's what it is. In kind of like a European aperitif kind of, but no, digestive kind of profile is what I would call it. Which, if you haven't had a European digestive, you probably don't know what that means. But it's a bitter, like, shot that you would take to, like, calm the stomach is what they say it does.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of what it tastes like exactly.
Like a Jägermeister. We've talked about this. Is Jägermeister a digestive or not?
I don't think it's a digestive.
I think it classifies, but no one uses it as.
No. They do not drink it as a digestive. It may be in that kind of caliber, but for me, Jägermeister isn't a digestive. I would say maybe Gabeldas would be more of a digestive.
But they're the same type.
Kind of, but different. Same but bitter.
They taste different.
Yeah.
Just like stouts and IPAs taste different.
Very true, very true. This is not where I'd like my IPAs to live.
Week 3.
It's kind of my anti-IPA flavors. So for me, sure, I'll give it a 3, but it's a begrudging 3.
It's also a weak, begrudging 3 for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been ragging on Casual. Their tap list is small but ever changing. Now it even changed so much that the paper label can't keep up. Paper menu.
Yeah.
That's good. When you look at the cans and bottles, the assortment is solid and the prices are reasonable. But like you said, I think some of these have been sitting around for too long. Like the Apex Asmodeus IPA, that came out forever ago.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of a staple here. I have no idea. They might just be getting new versions, new batches of it constantly. But it's not good. It's not good enough to be...
Yeah, but they've also got things like Total Implosion, which is another low ABV beer.
Yeah. They usually have Dugas on tap, and we kind of avoid Dugas on tap. I drink them when they're cheap on Systembolaget.
The Salty Passion was not the one I wanted to try.
No.
That was definitely one I was like, we're going to avoid that.
But there's OO on tap, which is nice. It's
the
just...
Bellmundi is a really nice beer.
Yeah, they have 2 OO on tap. I can't... We gave away our menus.
We did.
I think it might be OO Nelson.
Yeah. It's definitely worth checking out and stopping by. We just didn't happen to pick the 2 best beers on tap, or in their can or bottle selection. Because we were trying to go against the grain, as they say.
Yeah, but going for the casual lager at casual bar makes sense.
It does.
It's their house lager.
Yeah.
We actually, when we visit places and go, hey, what's on tap? We usually avoid the house lager because it might be something we've already had. And it is a way to experience the venue as a new visitor.
Yeah.
Because many people, I think, would go for the house lager.
Yeah, I would say overall, I would give Casual probably a 3.75 as a bar and a beer option.
When they're at their peak, they're 4.25 as a bar, and when they're low, they're 2.75. I mean,
it's really like they're either aiming for the rafters or they're digging in the dirt. Yeah. There's no middle ground.
It is very inconsistent.
All right. So we'll wrap it up here. You can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts, you'll find us because we're there.
We are there.
All right. So until next time,
keep drinking, you dumb-dumms.